What's up, design family, and welcome back to another episode of Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you back on the channel. On today's episode, we'll be looking at what sportswear is going to look like from a design and consumer point of view in 2023. So in the not so distant future. Anyone who's ever worked in fashion understands that designing and developing a product today does not mean that we're able to launch it tomorrow. There is typically a long design, development, and production cycle. So the challenge here is understanding what the landscape for sportswear and fashion in general is going to look like in 12, 24, and 36 months. On today's episode, I'll give you guys 3 key climatic and social values that I see are impacting today's landscape and how those are going to have a long-term impact on the type of fashion and sportswear that we're going to need to create in around 12, 24 to 36 months so that we can create product that gets people excited, that is relevant to the times in which it's launched. As you guys know, fashion is ever-changing and it's something that is continuously evolving with consumers' tastes, the world, how it's evolving. So making sure that we are tying those in and creating product that is informed by what's going on around us and what the tendencies and needs of the current customer base are going to be is a key factor in developing and designing product. So hopefully today's episode will give you guys some insight on 3 key factors that I think are going to inform the way that these designs look, feel, and how they function, and to put you in a prime position to design product that is going to get people excited right around 2023, so help you to stay ahead of the curve. Hey guys, and welcome to Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you here. On this channel, we discuss all things sports fashion, graphic design, manufacturing, and technology. We'll discuss key topics, answer pressing questions, and provide actionable steps on starting your own product line. If you're interested in any of the above topics, stick around. You're in for a good one. We cannot predict and forecast what a 2023 world is going to look like without first assessing the world that we currently exist in. It's going to come as no surprise that the pandemic has created massive disruption across every corner of the globe. And this disruption has come in 4 key categories. The first one is economical, the second one is social, the third one is physical, and then the last one is mental. When it comes to the economical implications of the COVID-19 pandemic, obviously, businesses have had to close their doors. As they try to limit the physical spread of the virus, this has meant that they can no longer pay their employees as their revenue streams dry up. This has caused a lot of disposable income being completely wiped off of consumers' abilities to spend, and at the same time, it's also created a unpredictability in the income of consumers down the line. Even if you have a job today, we don't know what the economical landscape of tomorrow looks like. So this has created a lot of uncertainty when it comes to people's spending power. People have also needed to deal with the social fallout of the pandemic. As we've had to go into isolation, to lockdown to limit the spread of the virus, people have had to live in anxiety of not wanting to spread the virus to their loved ones, or whether they're going to get it next, or in general being away from the people that we care about the most because we physically have to, has created a lot of this social anxiety. So people are going to come to terms with this new world that we live in from a social perspective. It's going to come as no surprise that the physical well-being of pretty much everyone that's had to deal with the virus has definitely taken a hit. As a virus that has no medicinal solution for it, there's a lot of people that have passed due to this pandemic. So this is also one key driver in terms of how people are going to be looking at product moving forward through the lens of the loss that the COVID-19 pandemic has actually caused us to endure. And because of a combination of the 3 previously described points, it comes as no surprise that the mental well-being aspect of any product design decision and any consumer-related decision is going to be at the top of the list. Being able to be attentive to these things is going to be a key driver to any design that's forecasted for the next 12 to 24 months. It's these 4 categories and the changes that we've had to endure from the physical, economical, social, and mental well-being standpoint that are going to impact these 3 key aspects that I'm going to talk about in this video. And this aspect starts as follows. Number 1, we're going to look for products that push for progress. So there's definitely an urgent need when it comes to products that are both inclusive from a social standpoint and regenerative from a product design and a product development standpoint. So products that actually have less of a environmental impact on the globe, as well as products that are more socially inclusive. We're also going to be looking at products that engage or enhance the idea of embracing frugality. Customers are going to be looking for long-lasting, reusable, and circular products that are going to be done in a way that save on both costs and actually on the waste generated by the production of these items. And lastly, there's the idea of acceptance. As digitized design continues to go more and more mainstream, we're going to need to look for opportunities to create new retail channels that offer consumers fresh experiences and fresh levels of flexibility in the terms of the types of products they're able to design and to create. So these are also going to be key factors towards any design decision moving forward. The first key factor that we're going to need to consider in terms of what sort of impact this current climate is going to have on the future of fashion and sportswear in general is we're going to be looking for products that push for progress. And this is a little bit different than the current way that we push for progress. Yes, there are many brands that have inundated the market with socially conscious products, campaigns that are inclusive of different races, different genders, different sexual preferences. However, there's going to be an extreme push into that category for us to try to do even more. Brands are not only going to look at how we can use recycled products, but how we can potentially invest into production capabilities that are completely circular in their approach. All the materials that we put in and all the waste that is taken out is continuously pumped back into that system. We're also going to be looking at not only reducing the carbon footprint, but potentially bringing that down to zero. Also, there are brands and initiatives that are pushing to help rebuild the globe, not only reducing the carbon footprint down to zero, but potentially beginning to add to some of this. So having a net positive impact on the globe, whether it's planting trees or creating other socially conscious programs. Brands are also going to be looking at not only how their own actions impact the globe, but also how the actions of those within their communities, within their supply chains, are actually going to impact and have the effect globally. So supply chains are going to change, and this is going to have an impact on the finished product, the cost of goods sold, and in general, the overall look and feel of the garments that we create and that we buy. Number two, there's going to be a greater trend towards embracing frugality. Definitely by 2023, income insecurity and recession is going to have been experienced by many. This is going to have to lead customers to reassess what they want out of their products and realign their priorities. As a result of this, frugality is going to become embraced as a life skill. And it's also going to be considered one that can be honed and mastered over time and over repetition. Because of this, there's going to become a new form of smart consumption when it comes to how consumers buy their products. In order to appeal to this newfound sense of frugality, customers are going to be looking for brands that create products that enable and almost enhance that sense of frugality for them, that create products that can be used and reused, and also products that align with the core values of their customers. It's also important to note that this frugality is not necessarily only a result of a financial limitation. It's also a result of a newfound interest in DIY and the impacts and the abilities that it can give you to stay up to date with the seasons, with a local community, with an environment, and just continuously refresh the products that we create and the products that we buy. And lastly, there is the idea of acceptance. As the barriers between the physical and the digital world continue to recede, there is a greater understanding and a greater acceptance towards science-based solutions. This is undoubtedly going to lead to a newfound willingness to embrace efficient alternatives when it comes to resource-heavy ingredients, materials, and actual product delivery solutions. Well, that is pretty much it, guys. That is a wrap. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video and it's given you a little bit of an insight into what your products may look like in the next coming years, and hopefully you can make informed and educated decisions around what types of products you'd like to put out, how they can engage your customer, and how they can enhance and elevate the landscape that we're undoubtedly going to find ourselves in the not so distant future. If you guys enjoyed this video, I know it was a little bit all over the place, but it was an interesting topic and one that I wanted to kind of discuss for my own kind of purposes. If you guys want to see more episodes like this, more sort of forecast videos where we go into specific products, specific trends, specific characteristics, let us know in the comments below. Let us know what types of episodes you want to see next. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Fittdesign TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.